Three, two, one. And we're recording. Hello, this is Dr. Sam Sugar. We're doing a AAAPG victim video today. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Regina Gargis, Livonia, Michigan.
And I'm Tina Lindsay, Livonia, Michigan.
Ladies, welcome. Obviously, what we're going to be talking about today is aspects of the guardianship crisis that's going around the country, but in particular, the unbelievably awful situation in Michigan. We've been documenting that situation for a long time, but the two of you have unique and individual perspectives. So, Tina, why don't you start? Tell us a little about yourself and why we're doing this today.
Okay, well, the first interview you did with me, that was using my son name, Christina Brakovich. That's out of the bag now because I have a lot of victims coming forward saying, hey, this girl's contacting me. So right now we are helping several families. One is a family whose their loved one's money is being diverted into another account and they don't even know. The guardian saying he doesn't know, the conservator, I'm sorry, saying he doesn't know where this money's going, but yet he's been in control of this person's money. So it's been requested that he gives a full accounting by March 10th. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. I'm hoping criminal charges arises from that. He's only been paying half of the person's bills. Everything else we're assuming is going in his pocket because where else would it go?
What an awful story to go along with so many other horrible stories in Michigan.
Correct. And you want to tell them about Bessie?
Yeah, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Oh, Bessie Owens? Bessie Owens, she's a family member that we helped out back in May. What we did was we cross-referenced. What we found out is that a lot of people, no, not a lot, nobody gets served with a petition that they're going to be under guardianship, as you know. So we started contacting all of the families,
the interested people on the court documents, and they, our responses was, what do you mean guardianship? What do you mean our loved ones under guardianship?
So what we did was we took this one particular worker who works with a specific guardian only. They work together, and we contacted all of the petition all of the people that she had petitioned up until that point. And while Owens, that family was on there, we contacted the daughter. The daughter did not know.
No.
The mother did not know that they were under guardian. And then we didn't hear from them for a while. And then next thing you know, we're seeing their story on Channel 7 here. That's one of our local news channels.
It was the day after our interview, Sam.
Amazing.
So she got the news, the media attention on it. And then we went to court with our blue shirts that say stop trafficking our elderly and disabled on it. They're very obvious. We made a big statement in the Wayne County probate court that day. We got if looks could kill, we'd not be here today.
Right.
So, and so we got a lot of coverage on that, and she was freed out of guardianship that day. So that's one of our stories.
And of course, that correlates with the calls that I've been getting for a long, long time. And it's interesting that the racket seems to be picking on people who don't have a lot of money for some strange reason, but every one of these cases is worth thousands a month at least in Social Security benefits. And they're picking on Black people, from my experience, Black people who have done nothing wrong, who are solid citizens, have families willing to take care of them, and not even notifying family members. It's really quite astonishing. Even Florida doesn't do that part. So you two are fighting this miserable system. Tell me what specific steps. I mean, I know, Gina, you're running for office, right?
Yeah, Regina Gar. Yeah, I'm running for Livonia's House seat in Lansing. That's up in Lansing, not Washington. I know some people confuse the two, but as a state representative for our city of Livonia. It's its own district because it's a very big city here. And our motto here is families first. And I'm
Yes.
like, what's going on has nothing to do with families first.
Right.
It's on every sign in Livonia. Before you even enter our city, you can see families first. Welcome to Livonia, families first. And what's happening is definitely not that.
Right. As a matter of fact, though, those signs are correct because the first part is all that's missing. The first part is we are going after families first.
Right.
Yes,
Um,
that's very true.
As you know, I've been attempting to talk to one of your Supreme Court judges, and I just met with him last week or so, and he mentioned to me that this is a really big problem, and he himself really doesn't see any way out right now. And that's a really disappointing thing to say, but we need you folks to continue this fight. And the lady with the green sweater is Jody, right?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Sam.
We need you folks to continue fighting along with the other groups that are in Michigan. And hopefully one day everybody will join together. But I'd like your perspective, if I can, to tell me what you think is going to be the thing that ultimately works to bring this thing to a halt, to bring this mafia-like racket to a stop. What do you think?
Well, it's like an onion, Dr. Sugar. It really is. We have to do it layer by layer because it's been going on for decade after decade. So the corruption is very deeply rooted. There's not a one answer solution. It's a whole combination of things. In Michigan, we have laws on the books that are supposed to stop this, but they're not being followed. There's no accountability. So what's the point of having law to stop somebody from doing such a thing and if the person breaks that law, well, there's no accountability. So you have a wild west type of lawless courtroom with corrupt lawyers and social workers and people like that. Not everybody in there is corrupt, but it's enough to make a difference, right? So I propose that we create resolutions in Lansing, Michigan, to start holding lawyers and judges accountable for a reasonable cause and have them removed or disbarred. Start holding them accountable and maybe make a difference that way. Like if we do this, we better get our act together because people are going to prison. People are being taken off the bench. And so it's holding people accountable. As far as the professional guardians are concerned, there is some work that needs to be done. There's got to
be a limit.
Mary,
you mean to suggest that someone like John Munger shouldn't have over 400 wards?
Well, my daughter's guardian had 1,400.
Which one is that?
Mary Rowan had 1,400 open cases when she took my daughter.
At a time? At one time?
Yes. Open.
Wow.
Yes.
That's stunning.
Yes. And we have the documents to back that up.
We also have a hair salon in Detroit that was running a guardian service out of the hair salon, and they had over 1,000 people.
So
how many wards are there in Michigan? Do you know?
In West
7,000.
It's up there. In Wayne County, I can't because the problem is so big.
It is.
We've been Michiganders eradicating guardianship abuse. We've been focusing on Wayne County, and here it's a numbers game.
Yes.
Okay. Volume. Because here they get $95 a month per ward for the guardian themselves, and any other Medicare benefits or Social Security benefits they may receive, okay, and any federal money that they receive because they are a professional guardian, so they have access to monies that you and I wouldn't have if we were taking care of them. We do it for nothing.
Right.
So you mean to tell me, I'm just pulling out my calculator, if they get $95 a month,
per ward.
And they have 1,400 wards.
Yeah, there you go.
That's $133,000 a month.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're telling
And nobody knows where the money
is. That's $1.5 million a year.
Yes, correct. It's a lot of money involved here. It's mafia.
Wow, and that's in one county.
That's in one county. That's not including the houses that they sell off and the property and the assets and the estate sales and the Social Security fraud. We've been to the FBI already. It's
The
a
FBI has
huge
done
problem.
nothing.
Let
for
me
us.
ask you something. When I was in practice, and I had a very large, very successful practice, there were 15 doctors in my group, and we were running a multi-million-dollar business, let's say $2 million a year. We had 30 to 60 employees at any given time to help run that business. Now,
Right.
Mary Rowan,
Yes.
does she have a staff?
She has one person, a bookkeeper who parades herself around like a psychologist, but she's just a bookkeeper. And she's actually the daughter of a retired circuit court judge here in Wayne County.
What a shock.
I know.
So,
Right?
so just so the viewers of this video will understand, this is a big business all over the country. Now,
Yes.
Michigan happens to be completely awful, but think about this. One person getting $1.5 million a year base salary.
Yes, we've done this.
Can you imagine them taking care on any level of 1,400 human
No.
beings?
It's
Well, there's a
impossible.
reason why my daughter came when I rescued her and kidnapped her back. There's a reason why she lost 32 pounds in 3.5, 4 months, almost 4 months. She was riddled with bed bug bites, blood dripping. The home that they put her in had barely no furniture. They ate once a day. Once a day, chicken and rice, the same thing every single day.
Ran by a felon.
Ran by a felon with warrants for her arrest. It was just a mess. It's just where they just warehouse them away while they, and because I couldn't control make her medical decisions for her anymore. I don't know, but every time she called me, she was so psychotic. I think they just drug them or something. They do something to them that changes them, and she was not herself.
Or they withhold their medications because they cost money that they would otherwise pocket.
Right.
I think it's becoming more and more obvious that this racket, not just in Michigan, but in Florida, Nevada, it's everywhere. There are just a few states that don't have much of a problem, but it is a multi-billion-dollar business.
It is.
And from my perspective, having studied this now and written a book or two about it, I guess you would call me an expert. This is a human rights issue.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Human rights violation.
And constitutional rights.
Which is confounded by the fact that it's governed by state law in every state.
Yeah.
So the state laws, which are written by the guardianship cabal, which tells them how they must act, serve to protect the lawyers and guardians and judges, the insiders, at the expense of everyone else. And this is the message that AAAPG is just desperately trying to get out to people who don't understand any of this. But you two do.
Yes.
I mean, what is your, Tina, what's your reaction just on an emotional level to what you're seeing?
Honestly, this has been so emotional for me. With my experience alone, and then having to listen to what these guardians and judges, how they have victimized these families, that has hurt me the worst. I mean, I had to go and see a doctor. I'm not ashamed of that, to talk to him about the stuff that they put these families through. No contact orders put out on their parents. What? This is America. We live in America. People have their civil and constitutional rights. And as long as I'm around, I'm going to fight for those rights for people. I mean, this has got to stop.
Yeah, this coming April, I'm going to be giving a talk at the Kasem Cares Conference in California. And the topic is the effect of isolation on the elderly brain. And my conclusion in this talk is that isolation orders or stay away orders are the single most horrific thing that you can do to an individual and their family.
Oh my God, it's devastating. Like we did an interview with a woman who had a no contact order put out on her by a judge, and Mary Rowan was the guardian. And it was absolutely devastating to hear her story. She didn't get to see her parents in the last days of her lives. They both died 8 days apart. It's sad. It's sad that a judge would even have a heart to take away a family member away from another family member. I mean, families first. I mean,
It is actually, in my professional opinion as a physician, it is a methodology of slow assisted suicide.
it is. It is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes,
the
you nailed it.
depression. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being separated from your family, not allowed, not allowed to call them, talk to them, nothing?
Mary,
I
because
mean,
they take the phones away
yeah.
from them. They can't get mail. They can't. Prisoners
not-
have more rights,
Than
Dr.
these
Sugar,
people.
than wards under guardianship in the state of Michigan.
Right.
And the saddest part is that in those horrible facilities where they're placing them, the help, if there is any, tells them that their family has abandoned them.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's what any conclusion
what they would
they were. In reality, probably most of them were kidnapped out of their home, and the families, because they can't do their criminal activity with family around. They can't over medicate them. They can't drain their estates and sell off their houses and everything that they've worked 50 years for if you have a prime caring family member around. So the purpose of isolation is so they can conduct their criminal activity without the family exposing it.
Right.
I think that's the inescapable conclusion. So other than running for office, Regina, and I certainly hope your campaign is successful, what is happening now in Michigan to try to address this mafia? Because that's what this is. This is an organized crime network run by judges.
Absolutely.
Actually, nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
No.
They touch the surface of it, and you think somebody's going to get their nails into there, and then they just back off. Something happens, they just back off. We've had media cover this with a very rose lens glass, if you will. We've had our attorney general who did do listening tours, but now she's not doing those anymore.
No.
And the result of those listening tours is nothing.
No.
She told a bunch of family members in a meeting that what good would it do if I rounded everybody up and arrested everybody? How would that make your life any easier? Well, they committed crimes.
Right.
That's your job. So it seems like nobody wants to, because these are lawyers and judges doing this. These are people who are very powerful people by their position alone. And then, like you said earlier, it's a multi-billion-dollar racket and nobody wants to touch it.
Well, I think at this moment in time, they hold all the cards. It is people like us and others around you, other groups like Voice in Michigan, and other individuals who've gone out on a limb like Rachel Hammond has, and sacrificed tremendously to expose this mafia. And that's what we have to keep doing. I don't have an answer. Nobody does. But the more we talk about this and the more people see this video and recognize your strength and determination and valor to change things from the outside, until we can get somebody with values to change it from the inside. And that means all kinds of politics and electioneering and lots and lots and lots of money. Until we get all of that stuff, this will be a difficult battle. But I want to congratulate the both of you for having the courage to take this on, and know that you have our full support. And
Thank you.
when it gets warmer in Michigan, I'd like to come over there, and maybe we'll have an event in Michigan for AAAPG like we have all over Florida. But we've got to get the word out, because this thing knows no bounds. It can attack anyone at any time for no reason at all.
Absolutely.
Totally unprovoked.
Right. I mean, we've worked with all kinds of families, rich families, poor families. I mean, we've got a millionaire right now who we're helping right now.
Yeah.
And this is so ridiculous. Her company, okay, she is one of these people, actually, kind of like, she owns a home care service. And she gets $40,000 a month. That's from her company. That's what she's supposed to get. But you know that her conservator only gives her $700 a month.
And locked her out of her own
And locked her out of her own home.
It's astounding. Just astounding. It's totally contrary to every American principle. I mean, it sounds like Russia.
It does.
It does.
No, I compare it to 1930s Germany, for sure. I never
Well,
seen something so
let's hope we're
systematic.
not let's hope we're not going down that road again.
Well, it's almost, I mean, they're rounding up our
Yeah.
elderly and disabled and putting and warehousing them away and
I mean, yeah,
forcing them into hospice. I mean, new era.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we had the chance to interview you both. Any last words to our viewers?
Well, I want to get the word out there and to,
Yes.
I know that some people who may have not been victimized by this, but the numbers are so great. It's like everybody I talk to knows somebody that's been victimized, maybe not themselves. So I think what we need to do is come together because these criminals are networking with each
Right.
other.
So we
And
have to network.
What we have to do is network and work with each other because we, the people, there's a reason why our Constitution has that at the top. We hold the power, and we need to remind these people that we have the power and they don't.
Regina, does your campaign have a website that you'd like to give out?
You can go to my, yes, Elect Regina Gargis 2020. I'm on Facebook.
Elect Regina Gargis, Gargus
it would be .com.
.com. Okay, there we go. And Tina, it was nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, Dr.
And keep up the good work.
We're not going to quit. We're not going to give up on these people here.
No, please don't. But thanks for talking to me today.
Thanks for having us on.
Yes, thank you.